Today's guest is a good friend of mine. We met competing against each other in high school and have developed a relationship since then. He's a Cleveland, Ohio native. He moved to Tampa and attended Leto High School and Cambridge Christian School and was a standout basketball and football player. He currently is a junior at Wagner University, where he's had a large amount of success, winning Freshman of the Year and has been elected All-Conference in both his freshman and sophomore campaigns. DJ Mercer, welcome to the show, bro.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. Talk to me about growing up in Cleveland, what your upbringing was like, how everything went in your house.
Cleveland was great, man. It was a lot of ups and downs. Me and my mama for the first 7 years of my life. Then my brother was born. My daddy had gotten into some trouble, so he wasn't around, but he was always around, you feel me? But Cleveland was cool. It was cold. I made a lot of long-time friends. My best friend forever, Kyle, met him when I was 3. We started off bullying each other, but we like brothers now. That's my brother for life. Shout out my boy Kyle.
For sure. How did you start playing basketball?
I had an inflatable hoop when I was in Pampers, and my mama got this picture of me dunking the ball, and she said, ever since she got me that inflatable hoop, basketball been it for me. I just been athletic, so I can do other stuff too.
For sure. When you were younger, who did you grow up watching?
AI. LeBron got drafted when I was actually like kind of old enough to comprehend what's going on around me. So I was like 3 turning 4 years old when LeBron got drafted, and we had like a whole party at the Q and everything. So I've been watching AI, LeBron. Obviously, you can't not see Kobe growing up in our era. Dwayne Wade, all those guys.
What was LeBron like? What was LeBron's impact like coming up in Cleveland? Like, what did LeBron mean to you?
Oh man, LeBron, like for kids, like for guys my age and like a little younger that grew up in Cleveland, maybe even a little older, LeBron is like a unrelated big brother to all of us. Like, cause he grew up in Akron, which is about 30 to an hour up the road from Cleveland. It's like he basically from the same place as us, but you know, Cleveland, we like our own little state. So we don't really claim everybody that's not from Cleveland, but LeBron is one of them. And his impact on Cleveland, I mean, right away, y'all know the band, the Billboard that's right across from the Q. We Are All Witnesses. That was up for 10 years. So all you see is Bron everywhere. So Bron is like a superhero in Cleveland to everybody.
For sure. So what was it like moving to Florida from Ohio? What was the transition like?
At first, I hated it. I didn't even want to come down to Florida. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm so Cleveland. Everybody that know me know I'm so Cleveland, man. I got a Browns hat on right now. By the way, we just beat the Cowboys. We 3-1. But I'm so Cleveland. I didn't want to leave Cleveland at all. So the transition was harder for me than my mom and my brother. They was all for it. But I mean, once that first winter came around in Florida, when I was like, wow, there's really no snow. Wow, I'm still wearing shorts. I loved it. I was like, all right, I'm bought in because the snow in Cleveland get real treacherous. It get real bad.
For sure. I can't imagine having to wake up and shovel snow or walk to the bus stop in snow.
Money though. That's money though. Hey, shoveling driveways get you paid.
For sure, but I'm talking about doing it for free.
Yeah, that junk dead.
Right.
You shovel for free, bro. You start contemplating life.
Right.
Like, do you really want to do this every day?
When you moved to Florida, who did you play AAU ball with?
First AAU team was Team Spates. I played with under Maurice Spates, former NBA player, former NBA champion with the Golden State Warriors. Shout out Big Mo. But yeah, I played with them. Aaron Holmes was my coach. They took me in. We was like a family. I think I played my first 2 summers here with Team Space. It was great. I mean, it was cool. Got some experience. Got to be around an NBA guy who's actually done it, an NBA champion. So it was cool. It was a good experience.
What were your last 2 years with SIBA like?
It was great too. I mean, I had a good time at both programs, but SIBA was I had a better opportunity to get exposure just because of the type of tournaments we was going to. So it was It was fun. It was like a family. You know, Coach Rick, Coach D, Coach Keith, they all brought me in like a family. All my other guys, Rich, Ron, Jackpot, Derek, Dylan, Nick, all those guys, Breon, other Nick. Yeah, they're my boys, Rico, Duncan. Shout out all them boys.
For sure. What impact have Coach D, Coach Keith, Coach Rick, all those guys, what impact have they had on your life? How important to you are they?
Well, besides basketball, they've impacted me in life. Like since my father not down here, they all became like real key father figures in my life. Guys that I can call whenever, any time of the day, any time of the night. They gonna help me out if I need to eat. They gonna make sure I ate. If I need a clothes, somewhere to stay, they always have my back. So I'm really blessed to have those guys in my life because I feel like without them, the last 2 years of my real teenage years, I wouldn't be as mature and wouldn't have my head on my shoulders as much.
What was it like going to Leto, and how did you decide to go to Leto?
Crazy short story. Well, it's really a long story, but I'm gonna make it short. Me and my mama and my brother, we had moved down here. We didn't know where we wanted to go, but because we didn't know nothing about the area, but we lived in Plantation, so we could either go to Gaither, Sickles, Leto, or Alonzo, because they all had buses that could take me to either. And we didn't even look at Alonzo or Sickles. I just heard about Sickles through the park that was near. But then we had looked at Gaither, seen the Confederate flag in the teachers' parking lot, and I was like, nah, because up north, when you learn about Confederate flags, that just draws straight to racism, slavery, and prejudice. So I didn't want no parts of that. My mama asked me to look inside. I was like, they allow this out here openly. Imagine what they allow in the school behind closed doors. So I wasn't messing with that. So then after we stopped looking, we kind of set that we was gonna go to Leto, but we wasn't too sure because we didn't know anything about it. Next day, I'm in the park playing. Leto basketball coach is walking his daughter, I think like freshly newborn, so she in a stroller, walking his daughter through the same park that I play at every day and at the same time every day. And I was killing. And he asked me what school I went to and what year I was graduating. And I was like, I'm about to be a freshman and I don't even go to school yet. Like I just moved down here. And he was like, come to Leto, come to open gym. Went to open gym. That's where I met David Jones, Chris Ortiz, Berto Ortiz, Josh Rivera, Isaiah. I met all my guys, Silas, Micah, all them boys. And right away I was like, yeah, this might be home, especially with a guy like David. I knew he was a junior, so I knew I had a minimum of 2 years with him. So I was like, why not?
For sure. What was it like playing with David?
Oh, it was great. I mean, not many people of David's caliber are as humble and as willing to teach and give back to the game as he is. David was a guy that everybody knew right away he was going to play Division I basketball, and if the cards play his way, he could luck up in the league or luck up playing overseas somewhere just because he is a shorter guard. But you know, David, that height don't mean nothing. That boy's serious. So playing with David was a blessing. I mean, a lot of my game today come from him, just days and days of watching him, playing with him. I owe a lot to David.
What was one of the biggest things that you learned just from watching him and playing against him every day?
So me as a player, I'm a very animated player. I'm a fan favorite because I like to get involved with the crowd. But I've learned in crucial moments and in like big key games, can't be that way. Can't be too high, can't be too low. Got to be a balance, composure wise. Because when we went into any game, I know David had the same mentality: just kill, kill, kill. But you never seen it on his face. You just seen that he had a motive, and you didn't know what the motive was. So the biggest thing I took away from him was having a great poker face, basically. Like if he's struggling, you won't know it. If he got 40, you're not gonna know it from him. You're gonna know it from everybody else
So basically keeping your composure at all times.
at all times.
For sure. Talk about the playoff game when y'all ran into us, your sophomore year. How we had to do.
And y'all spanked us every game up until that point, and we had a perfect game plan. And we game plan because I know Coach T. He had like a 8 to 9 man rotation, so we scouted for them 8 to 9 guys, and we executed our game plan perfectly. And we had got 2 of the key guys in foul trouble. And then here come you and Darren. We ain't seen y'all all year. And how we supposed to know two young guys that can play, that ain't played all year, could actually play? Y'all came off the bench. Y'all did exactly what y'all supposed to do. Stay ready at all times, that coaches say. Y'all boys came in and iced the game for us, man. It was heartbreaking.
Yeah, we had to come in, I made 2 free throws, tied the game up. D made 2 free throws, ended, had to send them boys home. But it was a good game for sure. It was the first round of the playoffs. We definitely wasn't even really supposed to be a game because, like you said,
It wasn't.
We beat y'all every time pretty handily during the regular season, but y'all came in for sure ready to play. Definitely had us on our toes for sure. Like we really almost lost the first round of district playoffs at home in front of our own crowd. Yeah, that was definitely.
I was gonna sell out if we came out that game. Oh my God, I was selling out the whole gym.
Keyword was if. You also played football at Leto. Talk to me about your football career at Leto and how things went there.
All right, so obviously coming down here, you don't know nothing about high schools, but Leto football is one of the poorest football programs in the whole state of Florida. I mean, they went on a drought for like 7 years. They ain't win a game or nothing, bro. It's crazy. But I mean, we ain't win a game when I was there, but the games was more competitive. Like Isaiah Rogers, that's in the league now. He was at Blake. We took them boys to overtime. Plant, we ain't do nothing against Plant. I ain't play against Plant. But we wasn't that good. But I know, like, shout out my boy Alik, my boy Jamie, Jeremy, CP, Chris, Fawn, all my boys, man. Like, them boys, if they ain't gonna lie, them boys, if they stuck with football and didn't choose another path, you'll be watching them on Saturdays or Sundays right now. But we just didn't have the team. We didn't have enough players to be successful. But Leto a basketball and a baseball school, man. A baseball and a basketball school. Let me correct it. Hey, man, when I was there in basketball, we was straight. We was better than straight.
I'm gonna let you have your time. Your sophomore year, or going into your junior year, you decided to transfer to Cambridge Christian. Talk about your decision to transfer there, and what was the difference between Cambridge Christian and Leto?
It was actually my mom's decision. I tried to call her bluff on one of her parenting decisions, and it didn't work out for me. So I mean, I ended up at Cambridge. I mean, Cambridge. The difference between Cambridge and Leto is really just, I'd say money and the faculty actually cares. But Leto's a public school, Cambridge a private school, so the faculty got more time to show individual attention than they do at a public school. Cambridge prided themselves on academics, so they prepared everybody that went there for college. Sports, I mean, basketball is pretty much the same. Instead of being the Batman, instead of being the Robin at Leto to David, I was the Batman at Cambridge. And then football-wise, I wasn't even going to play football. Jackpot begged me to play football. So, I mean, I played football for them. And then baseball at Cambridge, I just played my senior year because the baseball coach was so cool. I was like, might as well.
What was your overall football experience like your last 2 years at Cambridge?
I say it was. I say personally, my performances was overhyped, and I say that humbly only because I had a 5-star running back in Andrew Cunningham, so he got all the linebacker attention. I had a 5-star left tackle in Richard Garage. So he was taking up all the DN attention. So when it was time for Jackpot to throw the ball, it was really just one-on-ones. It was like 7-on-7. And Jackpot was the Florida Dairy Farmer Player of the Year or something like that. So he was nice. Jackpot was dang near statistically the best quarterback in Florida the last 2 years that I was in high school. We had Ricky Mann, Caleb Young. Both of those guys were previous All-State players on offense or defense. Scott Ader was, I think, the 3rd or 4th leading tackler in Florida at middle linebacker. So we were stacked. Like, we had a great team. So I would say all my individual awards and success, it wouldn't have happened without them boys. So I'm thankful every day that I got to play with a team like that. And I say that was probably the first time I actually, well, besides SIBA, that I played with a team, and they showed me how to actually be a part of a team. Because I was so used to being the man or top 2 player on my team. At the first time I come into a team, and I'm like the 7th, 8th, or 9th best guy on the field at our like as a whole, but like our respective positions. I was probably the 2nd or 3rd best receiver just because Ricky and Caleb been doing it for so long and they were so good. Like I said, they were all state players. And luckily with addition of me, like our record got better. We won more key games. And I just think just the addition of me, we were able to stretch the field more because I only ran posts and fades and a couple slants. But if I was going to score, it was off a post or a fade. So I just say that addition to me, I helped them. I was the missing piece for them, but really they helped me in life, if that makes more sense.
For sure. What was adjusting to being the guy at Cambridge like, coming from Leto, where you were kind of, like you said, a Robin to David Jones?
I actually came in with a chip on my shoulder just because coming from Leto. I mean, everybody in Tampa pretty much know, like, Leto is a laughing stock when it comes to sports. When they see Leto on the schedule, everybody just smile ear to ear because they feel like it's a day off, basically. Like, the backup's going to play a lot when you play against Leto. So coming in, knowing that the school that I was going to was a football school, so they already know about Leto's history, I knew right away, like, if I was going to play football, I was going to actually have to come in and try hard and prove to them, like, yeah, I came from Leto, but I can ball just like y'all. Basketball, I wasn't worried. Basketball, they already knew the deal what it was with basketball. They was just waiting for me to come over. But football was more of an adjustment. I had to, like I said, I was part of a team, so it wasn't me. But when I got on that field, I had my same mentality, kill or be killed. And I think that's what allowed me to adjust the most because I could still be myself, but I was also learning how to be a part of a team for the first time for real.
So after you finished your career at Cambridge Christian, graduated, you decided to go to Warner University. Talk about getting to Warner University and what it was like when you first arrived on campus.
It was cool because at first when I was looking at colleges and everything, obviously everybody want to go to a big school, big campus, a lot of people, so they can get like a full college effect. But when I got on campus, I mean, campus was small, so I'm like, I looked at my mom, I was like, we know my personality is too big for this. And my mom was like, let's just go see, let's just check it out, because I didn't sign yet. And it was like we had a little workout. And usually, like, when we go and work, like, when we have guys up here, recruits that do workouts, it's usually more than one. So the fact that I was the only recruit up here, it was kind of more personal, centered around me. You know what I'm saying? It was more personal, yeah. So the visit was cool. I played with some former players that was going to graduate that year, and I played with some guys that was coming back the next year. And the way my coach was pushing me to join drills, to join practice, because it was really practice, because they was running plays, they was running everything. He was basically showing me, like, this is where you're going to be when you play with us. Like, if you come here, this is what you're going to be doing. And it was like, oh, okay. So I'm coming as a freshman. I'm thinking I'm going to probably back this dude up and just make the best out of my time. But my coach was like, nah, you're going to play right away. And we subbed. So first game of the season, you're coming in after 5 minutes. And I was like, oh, like, they're already telling me this, and we ain't even got our full team yet, you know what I'm saying? So it was cool.
What has been the toughest part about being a student athlete?
Managing your time. Because you got, like, for a typical day for me, we got individuals in the morning where I got my little workout with coach, where he going over places, like going over spots that I'm scoring, going over type of reads that he want me to look at. A lot of skill work, a lot of film study and all that. And that's all in the morning. Then we got, obviously you got classes. So you're going to have between 2 to 3 classes a day. And classes for me get done before like 1 o'clock, and we got practice at 2 every day. So I got a little window to eat, practice 2 to 4. And then we got weights after practice. So got to make sure we get into the weight room. And then by the time weights in, it's like 6:30. And you got all your homework you got to do. You got some tests, you got to do some quizzes, all that. And it's like some days you debate between knocking out homework or going to eat, or you debating between studying for this final or this test or going to hang out with your friends. And it's like, yeah, everybody, when you get to college, is college, party, party, party. But I mean, if you're an athlete, there's some sacrifices that you definitely gonna have to make. And you just got to be okay with the results. Like, you want to be able to play, so you got to be eligible. So the grades got to come first. So you asked me, managing your time is probably the hardest because you got to make a lot of sacrifices.
How have your past 2 seasons went, and what have you been able to accomplish so far in your career at Warner?
My last 2 seasons have been I was gonna say great, but the type of competitor I am, I can't say great because we won the regular season conference championship my freshman year, but we lost in the tourney. Last year, lost in the tourney, didn't even win a regular season conference. We went to the national tournament my freshman year. I didn't go back last year. But I mean, on the bright side, I've had 2 back-to-back 20-plus win seasons, 2 winning seasons back-to-back. I've been all conference. I've been mentioned nationally. But none of that stuff really mattered to me. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. I can go back and show my kids this and that, but I want to win. I want to ring. I want to win. So last 2 seasons, they've been good, but I feel like these next 2 that I got left, I got to step my game up. Got to elevate the team, and we got to win. We got to bring back some type of bling.
What's your mindset going into this season coming up?
At first this summer when I was training, my mindset was I gotta score more, I gotta assist more, I gotta do this and that. And then I was looking at my film and I'm like, that's not what I gotta do. I gotta lead. I gotta bring as many people along with me as I can, because I feel like if I'm playing at a certain level, a certain high level, just because of who I am and how I prepared my whole life, if I can bring the rest of the starting 5 and then 2 guys off the bench with me, that's 7 total guys playing at that high level. And then because if I'm leading the right way, them other guys gonna bring somebody along with them. So now we got the whole team. So my mindset is bring as many people as I can along with me to play at the high level. And I feel like if we playing at that we all playing at that high level, there's not many teams that can stop us.
You just touched on it a little. It was a small thing you said, but what is leading right to you? Like, what makes somebody a good leader, and how does somebody lead right?
There's a couple ways you can lead right. You can be a guy that's very vocal. You can be a guy that's like basically a coach on the court that just basically says and does everything coach was saying do, but because coach is on the sideline, somebody else got to do that. You could be a lead by example guy that's going, just do all the right stuff, take charges, dive on a loose ball, box out, talk on defense, you know what I'm saying, get us in offense. You can do that. Or you can be a guy that I tend to try to be. I like to be a mixture of both, because I know just off the face of that, I talk a lot and outside of basketball. Actually, I can carry that onto the court and just be vocal but I also gotta be the guy that does exactly what, like, who practices what he preaches. So if I'm telling guys to box out, if I'm telling guys take charges, dive on the ground, they got to see me do it a lot more than a lot more than they hear me say it. If you feel what I'm saying, like, so for me, like a guy, like it's ironic because they just beat the Lakers, but a guy that I tend to admire when it comes to leading is Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Jimmy gonna cuss you out. Jimmy gonna let you know when you're wrong, but he gonna turn around and let you know when you right way more than you wrong. He gonna pick you up when you down. He's gonna talk on defense. He's gonna talk in the locker room, in the huddles. He's very active. Like, that's, in my opinion, that's how you lead right. You gotta let people know when they wrong, but you gotta build them up way more than you bring them down.
I agree. I think a lot of people don't understand that leading is not like a comfortable process. Like, you got to be, it's
It's
an
not.
uncomfortable process. You got to be comfortable getting on your teammates sometimes or
You gotta
talking,
be okay with being a bad guy some days.
for sure.
You gotta be okay with guys coming in the locker room and looking at you like they never met you before because they mad at what you said or what you did. But then the satisfactory part about that is if they come back the next day and they hit you with a, yeah, I heard you, bro, or I get what you're saying, like, I got you. And then it's like it's worth it then. But if you lead in and it breaks your team down, then you got to look in the mirror.
For
If
sure.
you're not building your team up, you ain't leading correctly.
For people that don't know, how stiff is the competition at the NAIA level? Tell people how many good players there are and how much talent there is throughout NAIA overall.
I mean, the NAIA gets overlooked just because it's not D1, but the NAIA got some hoopers, man. I mean, I'm here, but there's a lot of guys way better than me. There's some guys on my level. There's some guys under me, but competition, you got to compete night in and night out in the NAIA. There's no off nights. I mean, you can look at the Division I schedules and you be like, okay, they're gonna play them. All right, they're gonna win by 50. I mean, when you win by 50 in the NAIA, you dang near played a perfect game. You executed your game plan and you just outwilled the other team. But competition is crazy. You got a lot of Division I transfers, a lot of JUCO guys that could have went D1. There's a lot of guys that they could have went D1. They just were overlooked. There's some guys that could have been playing, that could be playing overseas in a couple of years. There's some guys that, with the right opportunities, they can end up in the league. I done played some guys that I was like, oh, he's a real hooper. Like, we might see him on TV one day if the cards are in his favor. And hopefully I'll become one of those guys that people talk about like that. Hopefully I'll become one of those guys that people, when I leave and do whatever I do after college, people be like, nah, that Mercer kid, when he was here, yeah, he was a guy. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. What would you tell somebody that's worried about the level that they're being recruited to play at?
That jump don't matter. Recruiting is its own game at itself. Recruiting, in my opinion, is a joke because I don't think scouts really take their job as serious as they could, because we see a lot of guys that are busts, or we see a lot of guys that we look at and we're like, I've played that guy before. Ain't no way that he's here and I'm here. But and then at the end of the day, everything's God plan, so it's whatever. But I tell guys, don't even focus on that. Go to somewhere where you're wanted. Go to somewhere where the coach is calling you night in and night out, day in and day out, asking how you doing, if you ate, if you got to class on time, if you doing all the right things, you working out. Like, you gotta, like I said, you gotta go where you're wanted. Because if you're gonna go to college and you wanna be D1, you go ahead. You can sit on that bench if you want to. You're gonna hate every second of it because you want to play as a competitor. But if you go where you want it and it might not be D1, you're going to be happy with the results because you're going to be actually playing. You get to do what you want to do. And that's why I'm grateful every day that I chose Warner instead of some other opportunities that I have, because I wouldn't be a two-time all-conference player. I wouldn't be the returning leading scorer in my conference if I went somewhere off of the face of their name, off of the face of what level they are.
I think also it's big that like you had a different opportunity than a lot of people. Like you've had the opportunity to really build something and like help build a culture at Warner and be a part of that. So I think that's something that people don't get to see really like too often. Like most people, like you
Right.
said, they choose their school or wherever they want to go based on other circumstances, other reasons, but you chose Warner for a good reason, and now it's all paying off for you. For people that haven't seen you play, describe your game and how it's progressed over the years.
So early ages, I was that hothead kid that was going to be all up in you 94 feet, talk some trash, get a couple warnings from the ref for talking too much. But I wasn't as skilled as I am now because the way my mom is, she's a defensive minded person. So a lot of stuff we did was a lot of defensive stuff. So I could really guard dang near anybody in my mind at the time. But I was very skilled when it came to right and left hand finishes. I could dribble with both hands. I just couldn't shoot as good as I can now. And my decision making IQ wise wasn't as good, but I was always the same dog that I am today, diving loose balls, getting up, yelling, taking charges, yelling, blocking shots, yelling. Like I was very animated. But now, growing up, after playing with some great guys, taking pieces of their game, adding to mine, I'd say my game is like, it's very up northish because I can shoot, I can handle, defend, pass. I feel like I know the game better than most, and I just feel like the competitiveness I play with, I'm one of a kind. I got a dog in me that a lot of people don't have.
For sure. How hard have you had to work to get to this point?
I don't feel I've worked hard enough, but some people on the outside looking in will tell me that I need to slow down because I rarely take days off. I'm always in the gym. Let's see. Since I was young, like I told you in private before, me and my mama, our relationship is unique. So she stopped trying to whoop me at a certain age, and it was just drilling. So it was like dribble with your left hand for an hour around the court. Like who's doing that at 7, 8 years old because the parents are tired of whooping them. Defensive slides, and this is all at like 6, 7 in the morning, at 7, 8, 9 years old. Defensive slides, left hand layups only. Uh, go jump. My mom used to tell me, go run a mile. How far is a mile? Well, go run around the block 5, 6 times until you get tired. Wow, like so I feel like yeah, I have my own worth ethic, but I owe a lot of it to my mom because at the time I'm thinking she punishing me, but she really just she don't want to hurt me no more. So she just like, all right, how can I I can psych him out by letting him work on his craft. But because he hates dribbling with his left hand, he'll never get a C on nothing ever again because that's just gonna trigger, oh, he's gotta go do this or that after if he gets a C or something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What would be one thing that you would tell somebody coming up trying to make it? Like, what would be your number one advice?
Stay locked in, stay loaded. Like stay locked and loaded. Stay focused. Limit all your distractions. The party's gonna be there, the girl's gonna be there, the extra fun gonna be there. If you really want it bad enough, you'll stay in the gym, stay in the books, you'll stay focused on your craft. So if you really trying to make it like you say and try and knowing how I was, you probably telling everybody what your dream is. So if you really want it, you'll go get it one way or another.
For sure. Now we're going to move to the speed round just to wrap everything up. What's your number one thing to do in your free time?
Either play 2K or watch highlights of games that just passed.
Who are your top 5 favorite rappers out right now?
Top 5 favorite rappers: Lil Baby, Young Boy, Lil Wayne, my boy Trill Bill. Always got to put him in No Cap.
That's a tough 5. No cap.
Hey, Drake got honorable mention because Drake always gonna be around. Drake always gonna be around.
For sure. What do you see yourself doing after basketball?
After basketball, probably coaching and owning the business at the same time.
What's your major right now? What are you studying at Warner?
Business administration with a minor of finance.
Who's been the biggest influence in your life this far?
My mama.
Shout out to my Dukes, man.
I love you, Ma.
What do you want to improve the most in your game on the court this year?
Coming through in crucial moments. Being able to be the guy that coach says this is who we going to when we need to win.
If you could meet and spend a day with 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
Tupac, just because I want to pick his mind. My great grandma that passed before I was even born, just because all the stories I heard about her, everybody said she was the greatest person they've ever met. So I wish I could have met her. And probably Brian. Probably Brian.
Surprised he wasn't first.
Nah, it can't be first, but I want to pick Brian Brain.
Well, that's it for the show. DJ Mercer, my brother, thank you for being a part of this. I really appreciate it.
Oh, love, brother. Thank you for letting me be here, man.
Yes, sir. Tell everybody where to find you, social media.
Hey, Instagram, DLMGR.13, Twitter, PGDMercer13, and the Snap, DJ Mercer6. Hit me up on all that.
Yes, sir. Hey, tell them about your docu-series that you got out on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got a 6-part doc coming out. The first 2 episodes is out. Actually, no, the first episode out. Episode 2 coming out October 15th. So yeah, it's probably gonna be out, but when it's dropped, and we got FOMO coming after that. So tune in.
Yes, sir. Tune in. The link gonna be in the bio, all that kind of stuff. But make sure y'all tune into that. Tell them never satisfied, DJ Mercer.
All that, never satisfied. Always gonna be working.
Yes, sir. Always working. All right. Again, I appreciate it, bro. Thank you for doing this. And we'll see y'all on the next episode.
Yes, sir.